Some of the new features I've implemented in Combo Graph. The first one being the priority system. So we can now add priorities basically for sorting the transitions. Like if you want a certain transition to be prioritized, you can just do that. Obviously, like we can drag everything around, but that is not implemented in Combo Graph, by the way. But let's say you do that state machine kind of a thing. I think I just find adding a number and a priority is just way faster. And there's also a feature for using weighted priorities. So weighted priorities basically are what they say it is basically weighted transitions for probabilistic sorting based on the weights. So let's say if you there are two branches coming out of this basic attack. So let's say you want to prioritize one of them a bit higher than the other, you want it to happen more often than the other, you can just put a weighted priority. So this can have, and you can also have multiple branches and put weights. So that will have a higher probabilistic nature. So the way to actually use this is with transitions, conditions. That's the most important feature, adding ACF conditions. So ACF conditions gives you superpowers kind of thing in combo graph, right? So you can actually branch out and give actually have smart transitions. So for example, I've created a sprinting. So if the character is sprinting, then it will go to this branch. If the character, there's another condition called directional action condition, and you can actually select the required direction the character is inputting. And so this has the character condition, the ACF condition is backwards. So this is only back attacks like branched through this. And I've also added check attempted movements. So for example, sometimes you are in a montage, so you are not able to move. But if you check this, even if you attempt to move in a particular direction, that is also considered a successful transition. So after this ACF condition, and obviously this is ACF conditions, you can create any kind of conditions you want. So you can have statistic-based conditions. For example, if you want a particular combo, a particular montage to only happen, let's say if it has a particular stat. So for example, if the stamina uh, is more than 50, then only this is supposed to happen. So these kind of stuff you can add everywhere. Like it will be easy to do, and you can have more control over all the transition. It will appear as if they are really, really smart transitions. So the third most important feature I've built is a reroute node. So these are all reroute nodes. So reroute nodes are better for graph organization. If things get a lot complex, you can organize it quite easily. And also for flexible transition, but not just that. The important feature of you can actually group everything, right? Because you can have now back attacks here, sprint attacks, basic attacks, any kind of attacks. But apart from that, the important feature which is also built in is a proxy reroute node. So it's basically a reroute node. It has no montage. You can just it does nothing. It just furthers the transitions. But there's something also called a proxy too. You can also add a reroute node, and then you can proxy it to existing reroute nodes. So the name suggests what it is. So you can proxy to, let's say, back attacks. From here, you are doing basic attacks, but let's say I clicked backward. I want to move backward because I'm in the process of doing basic attacks. Then I could just reroute it to back attacks. So this branch handles everything here. And it can also do, let's say I'm sprinting right now, and while sprinting, I execute two montages, and then if I click back, I want to go to further back attacks. So you will transition here. So these are all proxy routes. This way you can do a lot of combos and chain it together. And another thing which I also implemented something called a momentum jump warp. So basically, if you're moving and you execute something based on your momentum, it calculates like an to what position to warp you to, so that it looks natural, doesn't look weird, like because a montage root motion. So it's better if I can just show it here, like how it works. So I can, all of this is going to run through that one particular combo graph which I showed you. So I'll just implement a sprinting one, this one, and do a sprinting one. And I'll transition to back. This is back. These are normal attacks, but I can also transition to back anytime. It's just left. I can also do jump and back. This is jump and back. These are all back chaining. It's like sprint chaining. Another sprint chaining. Now I can transition to back smoothly. I can also do jump back. And that's about it. And as you might have also noticed, like if I strafe to the right, I have a momentum. If I chain to the right, I travel a bit faster through motion warp. But if I just do a small thing, it's just a small motion warp. Same. I think that's about it. Let me know what you guys think of this feature and if it will be good in ACF.